The criteria used in ranking Africa's top 3 air forces is not just the number of aircraft one's air force has, but its budget and ability to produce its own weapons is put into account. Number 3. South African Air Force. SAAF was formed more than a century ago. The Air Force has seen service in old conflicts such as World War II and the Korean War. Before 1994, SAAF was stocked with numerous aircraft to deter the so-called frontline states, which were a loose coalition of African countries from the 1960s to the early 1990s, whose aim was to end apartheid and white minority rule in South Africa and Rhodesia. Today, with peace prevailing and no looming threat in the near future, the Air Force is now a shadow of its former self, only just maintaining a qualitative edge over its neighbors. But should a threat arise, the South African government is capable of acquiring and building aircraft quickly. The 2022 budget for the South African Air Force is $450 million. Though SAAF has only 26, the Gripen is a highly advanced fighter jet placed between 4th generation and 5th generation fighter jets, thus making it a 4.5 generation fighter jet. On the market, it competes against Britain's Eurofighter Fighter 2000, France's Dassault Rafale, and America's F-35 Lightning. The Gripen is dubbed the world's best non-stealth fighter plane. In Africa, only South Africa operates the Gripen. The plane can supercruise to Mach 1.1 without the need of an afterburner while carrying weapons. The Gripen is not just a swing role, but an omni-fighter designed to replace 7 types of fighter jets. To complement the Gripens are 24 Hawk advanced trainers. Both fighters can be equipped with locally designed and produced Adata air-to-air missiles. The South African Air Force has at least 90 helicopters. 12 of these are the Roervolk attack helicopters designed and produced locally. The Roervolk has seen action in several African conflicts as part of UN peacekeeping missions. The Atlas Oryx is also locally designed and produced. 44 exist. Other helicopters are the Augusta Westland AW109 and the BK117. There are 37 transport aircraft in the South African Air Force. 9 of these are C-130 Hercules. There are 8 Dakotas that are over 80 years old. For fixed-wing training, there are 56 Pilatus PC-7. From there, Number 2. The Algerian Air Force. Formed in 1962, to assist the army in fighting French occupying forces. The Air Force has 700 aircraft and operates from at least 11 bases. The total defense budget in 2020 was $10.3 billion, making it the largest defense budget on the continent. The Air Force has at least 120 air superiority fighters, comprised of 46 MiG-29s and 73 Su-30s. The Su-30 is a twin-seat, twin-engine, heavy long-range jet that is very agile, that it can give any fighter jet today a run for its money in a dogfight. In the article, Su-30MK beats F-15C every time, published in 2002 on AW and ST. The Su-30 consistently beat the F-15C in classified simulations. Algerian Su-30s are equipped with French and Russian avionics. The Air Force also counts 13 MiG-25s in its inventory, though a one-trick pony. The Foxbat, as the MiG-25 is called in NATO circles, is the world's fastest jet, capable of clocking speeds in excess of Mach 3.2. For ground attack, there are 22 Su-24s. What is the purpose of an air force if it can't move troops or equipment around? There are 14 C-130 Hercules bought from America and 13 Illinois 76 acquired from Russia. There are other 52 small to medium-sized transport aircraft. The Algerian Air Force has a whopping 137 Mi-8 helicopters, which are for attack and non-attack purposes. There are 74 Mi-24 and Mi-28 attack helicopters. The Mi-24s were upgraded by a South African company called Paramount Group. There are another 73 helicopters of different makes, used for utility purposes. For training purposes, there are at least 180 aircraft, some produced locally. The Air Force has at least 100 drones. Some are produced locally. The Egyptian Air Force is not only the biggest air force in Africa, but the 9th biggest in the world, with over 1,100 aircraft. The USA donates $1.3 billion every year to the Egyptian military as a whole. The defense budget of the Egyptian Defense Forces was $3.7 billion in 2018. Of the 1,100 aircraft, 440 are fighter jets, ranging from the deadly Su-35, the formidable F-16, and the very advanced Dassault Rafale. Another 150 fighter jets are yet to be delivered. The Air Force has 300 helicopters, mainly from America and Europe. These include Apaches and Chinooks. The Russian-made helicopters are Ka-50s and Mi-24. For training purposes, the Air Force has 300 aircraft. 120 of these are Ka-8s built locally from Chinese kits. There are 63 transport aircraft, including 20 C-130 Hercules. There are also 7 airborne early warning and control aircraft that provides radar cover from afar. Last but not least, the Air Force